are coming to an end. Will that push people back to work? Grady Trimble joins us from Long Grove, Illinois. I guess businesses are worried that people have become too reliant on government these days. Grady?
They are, Stu, and they're still having a heck of a time finding employees. We're at Joni's Pizzeria here in Long Grove. Mike Oken is the owner of this restaurant, but also several other businesses in town. And you have so few employees at all those businesses that you're actually shuffling people around to try to stay open.
No, absolutely. What we've done is cross-trained my head chef over at Chatterbox, comes over here and helps us, and we have the bartenders moving back and forth. It's so tough right now.
What do you think the main factors are? Because we've seen reports that 22% of Americans' personal income came from the government last year, whether it was through Social Security, but also other things like the child tax credit, stimulus checks. That has to be playing a role, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think they're still getting government funded money. We're doing everything we can, giving them more money, giving them 401k, giving them health insurance, and we're still trying and not getting anybody.
So what's 2022 hold? Do you think there's any signs of improvement now that the funding has ended for a lot of those programs?
I sure hope so. We do see a little blip where some people are starting to come out and want to work, but like I told you, I had to pull a buddy that was in retirement to come and help. I'm like, please, Scott Wallach, come and help me. So he's actually here managing the restaurant for me.
So, Stu, that's the state of the labor market for small businesses here in Long Grove, but I think that's a microcosm of what's going on across the country. They just cannot find workers still.
You got that right. Grady Trimble in Illinois. Thanks so much, Grady.
Let's face it, y'all. People can't live on no pizzeria income. You made America so unaffordable. There are certain jobs people just can't take because how are they going to make it? How are you going to pay your rent and your car note and pay your light bills and pay for food on a pizzeria salary? That's the problem. And see, the incomes never kept up with the cost of living. And now people are just flat out refusing to work for these kind of jobs. They don't want these jobs. How are they going to make ends meet? And if they got children, that's another big expense. You got to buy school clothes. You got to take care of your children. They got to eat and live. You can't make it on these salaries. That's why they're not seeing people coming in and applying, and they're losing people in droves. So, this is an Illinois pizzeria. He's begging for help as the future of workforce hang in the balance. And so, he's one of many Americans that was able to live his American dream. He had several pizzerias across town, and now it is not easy to keep these places open. Just like they had this attitude that you can be replaced, people have this attitude they don't have to come and save your business. They're not obligated to do that. Wow, how the tables have turned. An Illinois pizzeria owner said Monday that he is begging for help as the future of the workforce hang in the balance while business owners deal with labor shortages and government funding comes to an end. So Michael Okan, who you just saw in the video, he was saying that people aren't coming because they're getting all this government money, and that's not the reason why people aren't coming. They can't live on a salary from a pizza joint. They can't. You know, the people that you would have gotten once upon a time, they don't want those jobs. you know and a lot of these business owners know they have been underpaying people and getting away with it. They're not going to be they're not going to be able to offer those low salaries and people just jump up and take it. Not anymore. And they said, there's also an issue where people will take the job and they'll show up for one day and never come back, or they don't show up at all even on the first day because they really don't want that job. They don't want it. So, a lot of people are also mad at these business owners because they got a lot of government funding, PPP loans and everything. And they're still offering, even with a dollar raise, they're still offering these low salaries. And you can't just sit there and say, well, people got all this government money. The businesses pockets were padded up by the government too. This ain't no one-sided thing. So they were saying earlier, this month they had job openings, and hardly nobody is out there applying for those jobs. Especially the hardest hit are retail and food, the restaurant industry. Those are your low paying jobs. That's why they're not seeing a lot of foot traffic coming to apply for those jobs. And also, ladies and gentlemen, even around me, those signs are everywhere. They're everywhere asking people to come in and apply and asking people to help. I saw one story online back in December where this guy, he applied for a job at a Subway. They hired him on the spot right after he filled out the application. They hired him. And he said, this couldn't possibly be a good job. They just hired me on the spot. And he started working. No, that's not a good job. No. So the Labor Department said earlier this month that an unprecedented 4.5 million Americans had quit their jobs in November, and that was up from the 4.2 in September and 4.4 in October. So it just goes up every month. I mean, it dipped a little bit, but over 4 million, that's a lot of people. Okay, so Michael O'Con, he believes that money from the government during the pandemic has absolutely contributed to the problem. And they're back on that people just don't want to work, and they're avoiding the real issue of how y'all treat people on these jobs. And it's not good. It's not good. But, you're going to do what you need to do. But y'all, please tell me what you think, and you can't forget about the baby boomers that are retiring, and there's really not enough people in the younger generation to even replace the baby boomers. You can't even overlook that. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.